Tonight at 6, Kent State students partied all day and night for Fake Patty's Day this Saturday. Our reporters were there and have a recap of this year's celebration.
Kent State hosted their annual International Fashion Show over the weekend. How International Council feels about the university's support.
18 states are pushing legislation to outlaw drag shows in the presence of children, what political and LGBTQ+ leaders are saying.
And the Oscar goes to... Find out which movie walked away with multiple awards last night. All this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Monday evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alexandria Manthey.
And I'm Natalie DeSantis. Tonight we start with a recap of Fake Patty's Day in Kent.
That's right. While St. Patrick's Day isn't until this Friday, students celebrated this past weekend. Our Sydney Brown has more and was there. Sydney, what can you tell us?
Hi guys, this weekend in Kent, students didn't just spring forward an hour, they also sprung forward a whole week to celebrate Fake Patty's Day, a fake holiday that mimics and looks like the activities of St. Patrick's Day. I was there to witness the festivities. Take a look.
Happy Fake Patties!
Fake Patty's Day was celebrated by many people who were anxiously awaiting the holiday.
It's like Christmas Eve.
It's like Christmas Eve, yeah, you just can't sleep. You
Welcome
have something to wake up for tomorrow. It's a bit of excitement, yeah.
My plans for the day is just to hang out with friends. That's what this day is all about, just hanging out with friends.
Yeah, think of the bars. We'll see. Honestly, it just depends where the night takes us.
Yeah.
Maybe a nap during the middle of the day. So.
Yeah, definitely a pregame nap.
yeah.
Those who celebrated described the day as
It is the best. It is the best weekend ever. Am I right? Am I right? Best weekend ever. Best weekend ever. Yeah.
I would say Fake Patties is about meeting new people, for sure, and having a good time.
And not just students were gathering on Main Street to join in on the fun.
We're graduated, so we're just back for the festivities, but Fake Patties Day is always a great time. Plan for the day is hang out in the front yard, enjoy a little bit of bonfire, and then probably go to the bars. We'll see what happens.
But these festivities are a reminder for Kent State students to stay safe.
Both Kent State Police Department and Kent City Police Department were on high alert on Saturday, but overall, people agreed it was a good weekend.
Everyone's in green, everyone wakes up early, everyone is out all day.
I've never seen this many people at the frets ever before.
I haven't either.
It's great.
Yes,
yeah, it's great.
Yes. It's very cold though.
I'm about to go to a couple of darties and then for sure hit the bars, like Dom's, you know the bars.
Happy Fake Patties Day!
The Kent State Police Department shared what the weekend looked like from their side of things. The Kent State Department had 81 calls and 2 arrests, whereas the City Police Department made 22 arrests.
Yes, for the most part, they were being safe. 81 calls for service is a little high for a weekend for us, but again, we only resulted in 2 arrests for prohibitions and underage drinking, so really not too bad this weekend.
The Kent Police Department is still compiling their records from this weekend, but Lieutenant Mike Lewis shared that it was a busy weekend and there was a lot of activity. Reporting live from TV2 News, I'm Sydney Brown.
Thanks, Sydney. Now, every spring, the Office of International Student Affairs puts on the International Talent and Fashion Show. The event represented 11 different countries with over 20 performers. Our Nuried Hurtado has more.
The International Student Council hosted their annual International Talent and Fashion Show this past Friday.
This is one of our biggest traditions, and I love it because, as you can see, it brings all people from all over the world together.
The International Student Council has been working hand in hand with Kent State to put this event together, receiving support from the university.
Honestly, from A to Z, we've been supported from all the services across campus. I would say from catering to events to even we're very, very grateful for USG for sponsoring this event.
Many people from different countries were part of this event, making it one to remember.
Tonight is so unique, honestly, because we have a variety of different performances, like people singing, dancing. There is magic. We've never had magic.
showcasing that you're proud of your culture and proud of where you come from, and sharing traditions and our values in forms of fashion, songs, dances, and so on.
The event was also a big opportunity for international students to feel as though they are part of the Kent State community.
We come from so many different places that are located far from the United States, and we're here, without family or close people, so we need to get used to the new environments, new culture, and seeing that the institution supports its students in this way by giving us this opportunity to share our culture makes us feel really welcome.
While most of the performance showcased different cultures, Fatima, an Iranian student, used this opportunity to send a clear message about her country.
I hope you all enjoy. Thank you.
Well, actually, Iranians always have many difficulties with their visa status. Many of them have the single entry visa. I hope this gets better very soon and everyone be able to see their family during their studies.
Students said they were excited about this event and are expecting for more like it in the future.
I really enjoyed this night and I hope this continues next year as well. And we had such a great night tonight.
The International Student Council said it will keep offering many different events throughout the semester.
Well, you can expect events related to culture, languages, and even sports. So yeah, stay in touch with us.
Reporting in Kent, for TV2 News, I'm Nuried Hurtado.
Hi, good evening, Portage County. My name is Noah Rowe, and I'm proud to present tonight's weather forecast. Let's start things off with what the weather is looking like right here in the city of Kent. As you can see, as you may know, it was snowing today. We are at 32 degrees, and it feels much colder than that at only 24. Our dew point was 28 degrees today, and it's pretty windy out there with winds coming in from the west at 11 miles per hour. Humidity's at 69%, and our visibility is a low 1.5 miles. And moving on to tonight and into tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing probably a bit of a shift. We're looking at more of a colder night. We're going to be 29 degrees. It's still going to be snowing at midnight, but that snow should be stopping at 1 a.m. And into tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing temperatures at 25 degrees with spotty snow. Look to see snow stopping probably around 3-4 in the afternoon. Moving on to a full forecast for tomorrow, we're going to be looking at cloudy with scattered morning snow. Only about 34% of the viewing area should expect to see any form of snow showers. We'll be at 29 degrees with wind coming in from the northwest between 10 and 20 miles per hour. It will be another very windy day, and our sunset will be at 7:31 p.m. That's all the time we have right now, but later on tonight, I'll be back with your 7-day forecast as well as temperatures from all across the state of Ohio.
Thanks, Noah. Portage County Water Resources is working to replace Manaway's water distribution system, including all of the underground water mains in the village. The head of the county's water resources, Daniel Blakely, states that it is going to be a difficult task as most of Manaway's infrastructure is older and has not been kept up to date. The cost of this major project is yet to be determined, but Blakely said that it will be significant.
And more updates on East Palestine as local authorities issued a warning about individuals going door to door and pretending to be personnel from the CDC and Norfolk Southern.
Authorities are saying to verify their identity, don't share personal information, report any suspicious activity, and spread the word to help protect yourself and your community.
A new vending machine is coming to Miami University, and no, this one does not sell chips or drinks, but actually emergency contraceptives. A handful of universities across the country have hopped on this trend, but this is the first of its kind here in Ohio. Miami's Assistant VP for Student Health says emergency contraceptive, often called the morning after pill, can be expensive and difficult to get at odd hours when stores are not open. The goal of this machine is to make the pill more accessible.
I don't want to fight and kill people. I don't want to fight for terrorist Putin.
Reports show that several Russian families are fleeing to Argentina to avoid the war with Ukraine. A look into their lives and how this will affect the war.
The biggest U.S. bank crisis since 2008 has left America staggered and looking for answers.
Tomorrow's news leaders
today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. A humanist group's drag queen story hour in Wadsworth Memorial Park was interrupted on Saturday by a crowd of protesters. 2 people were arrested and charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct after a series of melees involving pepper spray, the violent use of a flagpole, and a gun.
The Rock and Roll Humanist Drag Show Hour went on as planned, but the violence persisted. And Republicans across the country are pushing legislation to outlaw or restrict drag show performances in the presence of children. This includes Texas, which is considering 4 bills as of now.
Texas State Representative Brian Slayton says the bills are designed to protect minors, but advocates say the bills are discriminatory against the LGBTQ+ community and could even affect their livelihoods and businesses.
And on the heels of one of the biggest bank collapses and a bank shutdown, President Joe Biden is speaking out to reassure Americans.
Our correspondent Skylar Edington is here to tell us more about the shutdown. Hi, Skylar.
Hi guys, yes, there have been many concerns circulating after the falling of Silicon Valley Bank. The biggest U.S. bank crisis since 2008 has occurred at Silicon Valley Bank after failing to raise enough money to end its capital crisis. California regulators decided to close the bank down and put it under the control of the U.S. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. In most cases, this means the FDIC will liquidate the bank's funds and provide it to its customers. After the collapse, employees working for Silicon Valley Bank were offered 45 days of employment and 1.5 times their salary by insurance. By the end of 2022, the bank had over 8,500 employees. The FDIC has released many statements regarding the closing and mentioned that by Monday, all insured depositors will have access to their assets. And following the collapse of the bank, customers had major concerns over their money. In a statement yesterday, President Biden said their money is safe and that their bank deposits will be there when they need them. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the government has no plans to bail out SVB, but she adds steps will be taken to provide assistance in resolving the matter.
Today, thanks to the quick action of my administration over the past few days, Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. Small businesses across the country, the deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills.
Along with Silicon Valley, more banks across the U.S. were on the brink of a similar fate. Signature Bank was one of the banks on that list, which made uninsured depositors begin to panic. With panic starting to rise dramatically with many customers withdrawing their assets, emergency measures were deployed to freeze spillover effects. Officials stated that they are optimistic that the measures put in place will have their intended effect. To learn more about these stories and more, you can go to KentWire.com. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Skylar Edington. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Skylar. President Biden has approved a controversial oil drilling project in Alaska. Proponents of the venture say it's a much-needed source of revenue and jobs for the remote region. The Willow project will include 3 drilling pads instead of 2. The company and a bipartisan group of Alaskan lawmakers had lobbied that the project would not make sense economically with just 2 pads. The final scope of the project will be 68,000 acres less than the oil company was initially seeking. Yet climate groups have argued that it will still pose health and environmental risks with its carbon pollution.
And Vice President Kamala Harris announced today that she plans to visit Africa later this month. The plans come from the Biden administration wanting to form stronger relationships with African countries, as challenging countries like Russia and China have made advances on the U.S. Harris will be the most senior Biden admin official to visit Africa and is scheduled to visit Ghana, Tanzania, and Zambia.
Millions suffer from seasonal allergies in the U.S., and a new report finds climate change that is likely to lead to a stronger pollen season and worsening allergies.
Data shows earlier spring and longer periods of freeze-free days for parts of the U.S. have meant that plants have more time to flower and release allergy-inducing pollen.
Wow. Well, Natalie, do you have allergies?
You know, I'm really lucky to say that I do not suffer from allergies.
Yeah, neither do I. So
that's great. But you know, I did hear that our very own Noah does suffer from allergies.
Yeah, and he's got more with the weather and these crazy temperatures that we're seeing. Noah, how's that weather and how are your allergies doing?
Absolutely. You know, it has really been sniffle and sneezing season lately. These allergies have been getting me. It's been because of just all the varied temperatures we've been seeing. And I will give you more on that during our 7-day forecast in part 2 of tonight's weather forecast. I'm going to start things off by just looking at the different areas around Northeast Ohio. It's a pretty average looking score. We're seeing a lot of 33, a lot of 34, Sandusky, Cleveland, Ashtabula, right up by the lake, Mansfield, Worcester. It's low 30s all across Northeast Ohio. Here in Kent, we're at 32, joining the pack, 33 in Canton, with the highest temperatures in Northeast Ohio today, tying between Youngstown and Ashtabula at only 34 degrees. Now, all the way across the state, we're looking at, again, very average temperatures all around and all very low 30s. 34 in Akron, Lima's only at 33, 34s in Dayton, Columbus, as well as 35s in Steubenville, as well as Athens. Our highest temperature across the state, thankfully, is a nice 38 degrees in Cincinnati. As for your 7-day forecast, unfortunately, as you might be able to see, the gray skies are here to stay for the upcoming week. We're going to have a bit of snow tomorrow. It'll be scattered throughout the morning, but hopefully the entire viewing area won't be having to deal with too much snow. On Wednesday, we'll be having some early clouds in the morning, but it's going to be sunny on Wednesday afternoon, and those temperatures are going to start climbing. The temperature climbs will continue from Thursday into Friday, reaching a high of the week of 57 degrees. Unfortunately, much like last weekend, this weekend we're going to cool down again. 37 on Saturday, and into Sunday, we're going to go all the way down to 36. But on Monday, I am more than happy to tell everyone we're going to have our first sunny day in what feels like a very long time, and a high of 45 degrees. That is all the weather I have to share with you tonight, Portage County. Stay warm and keep those spirits high. Spring is right around the corner. Alex, Natalie, back to you.
Thank you, Noah. At least 8 are dead, including 4 children, after a landslide in Brazil's Amazon region. The landslide buried more than 10 homes in the northern city of Manaus. Brazil's rescue efforts have continued since Sunday evening. The mayor of Manaus scheduled a meeting with the Brazilian president tomorrow to gain greater resources.
That was hard for me to see those videos and see them drag and throw it on the back of the vehicle, you know. And it was like God was preparing me already to know that, you know, it was probably the worst.
Mexican authorities arrested 5 people Friday in connection with the deadly kidnapping of 4 Americans in that country last week. According to images circulating online of a version of the letter obtained from an official familiar with the ongoing investigation, the cartel believed responsible has turned 5 of their own members over to Mexican authorities, along with making a public apology. Survivors Eric Williams and Latavia Washington McGee are back in the U.S.
We were forced to leave our motherland, and we have a different opinion on what happens in Russia now, so we decided to leave country.
Argentina schools have seen a recent spike in Russian children enrolling in their programs. In Buenos Aires alone, there are more than 300 Russian students attending public schools this year. This increase is a direct result of Russian civilians who do not support the war between Russia and Ukraine fleeing to nearby countries.
Russian President Vladimir Putin met Chechen leader at the Kremlin earlier today. Pro-Kremlin Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov has reiterated that Chechen fighters in Ukraine will help Moscow fight till the end. He also said, quote, "The residents of the region fully support the special military operation and consider it necessary to achieve its goals and objectives."
The Russian attacks on Bakhmut continue and have started to spread to Slavyansk, the city just northwest of Bakhmut. The missile and rocket assaults demolishing most of their infrastructure. This assault on Slavyansk was predicted by Ukrainian military officials who thought that it would be the next major urban target of Russian forces. As the battles rage, the Ukrainian military authorities hold fast to their vow to fight and defend. The Oscars was a whale of a time, and one particular film came in to take everything all at once.
The Flashes battled for the MAC championship on Saturday. Who came out on top, and more coming up on TV2 Sports.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
How's it going, Portage County? I'm Tai Belcher with your Monday Sports Report. It was a great weekend to be a Golden Flash, so let's get right into it. The Kent State men's basketball team is going dancing for the first time since 2017. The Flashes defeated the Toledo Rockets by a final score of 93-78 on Saturday, punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Sincere Carey led Kent State with 26 points on the night, and the Flashes outscored the Rockets 58-44 in the second half. Malik Jacobs also added a double-double with 18 points and 13 rebounds. The Flashes will check in as a 13th seed in the March Madness, and will take on the Indiana Hoosiers in the round of 64. And let's take a look at the matchup between Indiana and Kent State. The Hoosiers earned the 4th seed in the Midwest region following a 22-11 record in the regular season, which included beating the Purdue Boilermakers twice. They have leaned and earned their way, leaning on star forward Tracy Jackson Davis all year long, who averages 20.8 points per game. Another Indiana player to keep an eye on will be Jalen Hood Shifno, who operates a dynamic Indiana offense. Tip-off between Kent State and Indiana is slated for Friday, March 17th at 9:55 p.m., and you can catch the action on TBS. And the Cavs took on the Hornets yesterday. Let's get right into those highlights. And we got the Cavs taking on the Hornets in Charlotte. Let's get right into it. Donovan Mitchell takes it right, hits a nice step back, and finishes at the rim and gets contact for the and one. And let's run that back. Snatch back, shimmy his way down the lane, easy fillet for the points. Donovan Mitchell will have a great night. And now we got Evan Mobley inside, pump fake, and he gets rejected by Nick Richards. Gordon Hayward gets the break started and ditches to P.J. Washington for the slam. And here's P.J. again, right over Lamar Stevens. Hornets take a 4-point lead. And Mitchell loses it here, and Terry Rozier dives. How bad does this guy really want it? He ditches it from his back to Dennis Smith for the transition bucket. But Karis LeVert wouldn't let this get too far out of hand. Karis LeVert knocks down a huge three on the inbound from Ricky Rubio to cut the lead down to 10 points. And now Isaac Okoro finds Garland at the top of the key. Money. Bang. Cuts the lead to 2 points. Hornets now up 8. Terry Rozier finds a soft spot and puts it in the floater. Back to double digits for the Hornets. And here goes Scary Terry again. Drills a three to give Charlotte a 15-point lead. But LeVert wouldn't let the Cavs get too far out. Kicks it out to Rubio, gets himself a nice little setup, and takes it inside through the contact and one. And Garland outside finds Evan Mobley, who puts in on deck, soars in for the two-hand slam. Cavs take the lead. And Mitchell goes deep into his bag here, hits the floater over Smith to put the Hornets away for the dagger. Cavs go on to win 114-108, with Garland scoring 28 points. And that's all I have for sports today. For the updates in and around athletics in Portage County, be sure to follow us at TV2 KSU Sports. I've been Tai Belcher, and have a great night, Portage County.
One film had a killer premiere in theaters over the weekend. We'll tell you more on Hollywood's biggest horror. Welcome back. A new Ghostface has been unmasked in Scream 6, which premiered in theaters Friday. The slasher flick topped the charts with $44.5 million, the best debut in franchise history. This surpassed the previous series high of $32 million that Scream 2 opened with in 1997. The 95th Annual Academy Awards on Sunday was full of emotion and excitement, even if it lacked the drama and surprises like last year's Slap.
Yes, and Everything Everywhere All at Once swept the major prizes, earning Best Picture and 6 other awards. As Stephanie Alam reports, CNN also clinches its first golden statue.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
The Best Picture winner, living up to its name. Everything was everywhere at the Oscars.
Never give up.
Michelle Yeoh winning Best Actress, making history as the first woman of Asian descent to win.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope.
Her co-star, Kiwi Kwan, won Best Supporting Actor.
Mom, I just won an Oscar.
Nearly 4 decades after becoming a child star in Indiana Jones, played, of course, by Harrison Ford. The two with an emotional embrace on the Oscar stage.
My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp. And somehow, I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage.
Races that were too close to call before the show included Best Actor.
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser winning Best Actor for The Whale after trading wins all award season with Elvis's Austin Butler. For Fraser, it's a return to Hollywood's A-list.
There was a facility that I didn't appreciate at the time until it stopped. And I just want to say thank you for this acknowledgement.
Jamie Lee Curtis!
Jamie Lee Curtis edged out Angela Bassett for Best Supporting Actress. The one-time Scream Queen who got her start in the horror film Halloween thanked those genre fans for their decades of support.
The thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, we just won an Oscar together!
CNN Films' Navalny won Best Documentary Feature.
I would like to dedicate this award to Navalny, to all political prisoners around the world.
The wife of Russian oppositionist Alexei Navalny speaking directly to her imprisoned husband.
Alexei, I am dreaming the day when you will be free and our country will be free. Stay strong, my love.
Last year's Will Smith slap was not ignored by host Jimmy Kimmel.
If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor.
Kimmel joked, but the Academy did have a crisis team in place, a result of last year's slow response to the slap.
If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just do what you did last year. Nothing.
All right, well, no slap, but we weren't kidding when we said a very emotional night.
So emotional, and I mean, it's a really good difference from last year's. I mean, you could feel a lot of the love that was coming from most of the actors who won, you know?
Yeah, did you watch the Oscars?
You know, I only watched a few moments of it, but, you know, just from the little bit that I saw and the little bit that I saw on that clip, it seemed to be a lot of, just so much emotion. What about you? Did you end up watching it?
I didn't get to watch it because I don't have cable.
Fair enough, yeah.
All of us students are in the same boat. But I watched a lot of TikToks. There's lots of stuff going around on social media.
So much coverage of it, absolutely. As, of course, there is. Of course there is.
One of the biggest awards.
Of course.
All right, well, that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at kentwired.com and our social media on all platforms at Kent Wired. I'm Natalie DeSantis.
And I'm Alexandria Manthey. Have a great night, Portage County.